Read on.
And Cain knew his wife, and she conceived, and bare Enoch. And he built a city, and called the name of the city after the name of his son Enoch.
Right, that was back in the ancient world. But now that city, that great city that they built up, was destroyed in the flood. Read on.
And unto Enoch was born Irad. And Irad begat...
Now, let's check this out. That shows you that, see, a lot of people say, well, Adam and Eve were the only people on the earth. Shows you that there was more people than Adam and Eve. Because it didn't say nowhere in the Bible at that time that Adam and Eve had daughters. So who did Cain marry? Did he marry? Who did he marry? Who did he have sex with? How did he get a wife? Because there was people out there in the world besides Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve was set up under the Most High's authority to rule the world, but they had went off, as we read in the other tape, the previous tape. Read on.
And Irad begat Mehujael.
These are sons. These are Hebrew names because back there they spoke what's known today as Hebrew, which is Lashawan Kodash, which is a holy tongue. There was only one tongue, one language. Read on.
And Mehujael begat Methuslael.
Go ahead.
And Methuslael,
that's a funny name. Go ahead.
Begat Lamech.
Right, Lamech. Go ahead.
And Lamech took unto him 2 wives.
Now hold up. A lot of people say, well, wait a minute, man. A man ain't supposed to have more than one wife. And from the very beginning, that wasn't so. This is in the book of Genesis, the 4th chapter. Lamech had 2 wives. Go ahead.
The name of the one was Adah. And the name of the other was Zillah.
Right. Go ahead.
And Adah bare Jabal. He was the father of such as dwelt in tents.
Right. Now the white man in the beginning dwelt in tents. They dwell out in the wilderness in tents and in rocks. Go ahead.
And of such as have cattle.
And of such as has cattle. That proved that what? Cain had the cattle. Read on.
And his brother's name was Jubal.
Go ahead.
He was the father of all such as handle the harp and organ.
Now, that's heavy. He was of such that handled the harp and the organ, playing instruments. We're going to go back to Ezekiel 20:28 and prove that. So keep that in mind. It says one of his sons handled what? The harp and the organ. Now read on.
And Zillah, she also bare Tubal.
Right,
Cain.
Tubal Cain. Go ahead.
An instructor of every artificer in brass and iron.
Right, he dealt with brass and iron. The white man was famous for his making his instrument, his pipe organs, and his brass and his iron. That's why in the churches, the more big Catholic churches, they have these organs and stuff with the pipe organs, and that represent when you hit them notes, demons. Read, brother.
And Zillah, she also bare Tubal, Cain, an instructor of every artificer in brass and iron.
Right, he dealt with brass and iron, and they dealt with the harps and the organs. Read on.
And the sister of Tubal Cain was Naamah.
Go ahead.
And Lamech said unto his wives, Adah and Zillah, hear my voice, ye wives of Lamech. Hearken unto my speech, for I have slain a man to my wounded, and a young man to my hurt.
Right, he had a fight with this man, so he's telling the story. So when you kill somebody, you're supposed to pay for it in judgment. But Cain didn't have to pay for his killing of Abel. So Lamech, one of his sons, is going to come out and say, look, I shouldn't be destroyed either. I shouldn't be killed. Because my forefather got away with it. Go ahead.
If Cain shall be avenged sevenfold, truly Lamech 70 and sevenfold.
Right. If Cain can get away with it, let me get away with it. So he got away with murdering this guy. Read on.
And Adam knew his wife again, and she bare a son, and called his name Seth.
Now, you notice He didn't bear no daughters. They didn't bear no, Adam and Eve they didn't bear no daughters as yet. The third son, the third child that was born was a man child. His name was Seth. Read on.
For the Most High, said she, have appointed me another seed instead of Abel, whom Cain slew.
Right, go ahead.
And to Seth, to him also there was born a son, and he called his name Enos. Then began men to call upon the name of the Lord.
Right, because Abel was the son to follow the Lord, to be brought up in righteousness. So when Abel was killed by Cain, Adam and Eve had another son named Seth. And Seth had a son named Enos. And then they began to what? Call upon the name of the Lord. But now, in Genesis, the 4th chapter, around the 21st and the 22nd verse, it tells you about the sons of Cain working with harps and pipe music and so forth. And also working with brass and different metals. Artificers and brass and different metals. Now I'm going to show you that this is also mentioned in the book of Ezekiel 28 and the 13th verse. And this also links up. That's why we was jumping off into Thessalonians, into Ezekiel about Tyrus, because the white man is mentioned in this Bible under different names, not only as Edom, but in many different parabolic, symbolic names. So now let's go to Ezekiel 28. Start from the 12th verse. Now this is going to link up and show you that this was talking about the people of Cain, Cain's people back there in the land of Nod and back there in the Middle East. And it's referring to now. This is an ongoing thing about Cain. Cain is still here, but now he's known as Edom, Esau, or the so-called white man. So let's read that, brother.
Son of man, take up a lamentation upon the king of Tyrus.
The king of Tyrus represents Babylon, America, the white man. Read on.
And say unto him, thus saith the Lord power, thou sealest up the sum, full of wisdom and perfect in beauty.
Right, they were considered perfect in their beauty and their riches. Read on.
Thou hast been in Eden.
See, thou hast been in Eden. Go ahead.
The garden of the Most High.
The garden of the Most High. That's referring back to Cain, because they was back there in Eden. Now they was pushed out. Adam and Eve was pushed out of the actual garden in the east, in the center of the earth, but the whole earth is still known as Eden. So they was right outside the Garden of Eden, over there by Jerusalem. Read on.
Every precious stone was thy covering.
In other words, back there in the Middle East, even today, there's much material resources back there in the Middle East. Read on.
The sardius, topaz.
Now it's going to mention these stones. Read on.
The sardius, topaz, and the diamond, the beryl, the onyx, and the jasper, the sapphire, the emerald, and the carbuncle, and gold, and the workmanship of thy tabrets, and of thy pipes.
And of thy pipes. See? Thy tabrets and thy pipes to make music. And it tells you in Genesis that they were working with the different metals. Esau. Working with the harps and the organs and so forth. Read on.
Was prepared in thee in the day that thou wast created.
Right, was prepared. They keep this, they work with the steel factories. America was known for their steel factories and all that. But Cain, their forefather, back in the ancient world, dealt with these different metals. So that's why the white man is able to deal with this technology. He can make different instruments and technology and so forth. Because that science was given to him back, he had that science back there in the beginning. Go ahead.
Thou art the anointed cherub.
Now what does that mean? The anointed cherub. The word cherub represents mighty one, like an angel. The anointed cherub, the word anointed means chosen. So the white man was that chosen mighty one. In other words, the Most High chose him and made him mighty. That's why the white man's in rulership today, because the Most High said he's going what? According to Job 9:24, the earth shall be what? Given to the hands of the wicked. And the Most High gave the white man power through his sword, his modern day sword, his gun and his missiles, to take this world.